All right, we are going live. Welcome, Spartan Cup Series. How you doing tonight? Hope you're doing well. Excited for Easter coming up, and just looking forward to the whole weekend. If you give me a thumbs up and let me know you can hear what I am saying, then I'll continue. If not, let me know if we're having any issues. I see one thumbs up. So does that mean you guys can hear me? All right. What did you guys think of the Bristol race this weekend? Did you like the Bristol race on the dirt? Awesome. Looks like there's a delay, but yeah, it was good. I kind of have some mixed feelings about the race. I love the race. It was exciting to watch. Yeah, too many cautions. I'm always a fan of the pit stops and how quickly the teams can change the tires and do any adjustments. And that was really kind of removed from this race. It was strictly, you couldn't pass anybody. So that was a little, it just kind of took away, I think, the competitiveness of the pit stops. Yeah. Yeah, if you're a Logano fan, you got to be happy about that, because that was a great race by him. The other thing I wasn't a big fan of was the single file restarts late in the race, and I'm sure Tyler, if you're a Logano fan, you probably didn't mind the not lining up against Denny Hamlin there at the end, but that was pretty amazing to eliminate the double file restarts at the end. So yeah. Is that Logano's first win of the season? Tyler, let me know. I don't know if he had previously won or not this year. Let's see. Ian was less like a dirt race, more like old Bristol, single groove on the bottom. Yeah, you have to bump. Yep. Yeah, I agree with that. So I guess they're going to remove all of the dirt now and go back to in the Bristol Fall race and do the regular on the asphalt. I assume that's what they're doing. But as it relates to custom diecast, I was kind of hoping that there would be like dirt and mud all over the cars, so it would be, interesting to make a Bristol dirt car. But when I look at the pictures of Joey's winning car, all I see is just, a little bit of dirt. There's the regular scuff marks from, where he bumped in with other people. But I don't see like a bunch of mud all over the car like I was kind of expecting. So I just find that interesting. Actually, a little disappointing. I was hoping there'd be mud all over it. So when we do a custom car, then it would be, just fun to try to recreate that with some brown paint or whatever. So yeah. Okay, Tyler, you're saying that Tyler Reddick said something on the radio. I don't know what he said. So I don't know. I don't know what he said. If you want to type and repeat what he said, if it's somewhat clean, go ahead and do that. But yeah. So this is going to be a live stream for you guys. If you have any questions you want to throw them my way, we can obviously talk NASCAR. We can talk custom diecast building, the 164s, whatever you guys want to ask me. You kind of know, if you've watched some of my videos, you kind of know what I'm all about. And so just feel free to ask me anything. I know there's a few people that have shot me some emails, and I haven't responded yet. I've got to do that today. or tonight. So I plan on doing that probably after this video. People ask me some questions about some of the decals that I have for sale, and I can do that. Tyler, okay, you said you should make the trucks practice ones with the mud caked up on the front window and the nose. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. I didn't think of that. Um, I'm seeing Lionel make more 164 trucks than they used to. Um, so I just need to kind of get a little bit more familiar with what Lionel's making and is going to be making, because I don't typically like to buy the decals for trucks that they're going to release in the next month or 2 or 3 months, because who wants to buy a custom made truck that you can buy from Lionel for $5 at Walmart, or $6-8 online at some of these retailers. So I just need to know which diecast they're making and which ones they're not. And sometimes that's just a little, it's not really clear, for example. So, hey, congrats, Jimmy Johns. You finished your first custom a few days ago. That's awesome. That's awesome. Just let me know which one you made, what year, what paint scheme, what was the driver. I'm curious which one you chose to do the first, and if that is for you, or if you plan on making it for somebody else or making it for a collector. When I first started out, I was primarily making customs for myself, and then I realized that there's other people that might be interested in making or in buying something that I make. So let's see. Okay, Tyler, you said, Tyler Reddick said, can I at least get out and pee? I remember that, actually. It was during the red flag, and yeah, I remember them saying that. Now I forgot it was Tyler Reddick, but yeah, that was funny. That was funny. I can imagine those guys in their fire suits in there for hours on end, and also getting hydrated before the race. If they're not sweating a lot right away, that fluid's going to go right into your bladder and just fill up. And once it gets in your bladder, it's only got one place to go. And so, yeah, that was pretty funny. I remember that. Thanks for bringing that up. Ian says, hey, I'm Connor making a COT diecast. Yeah, you've watched my videos. Those are some of the funnest ones to make, with that, the rear wing. And depending upon how you get the decals, I always like the decals that have the little designs that go on the sides of the wings. Those are pretty cool. Sometimes you buy a decal set, it doesn't have those decals that go on the side of the wings, and it's a little disappointing for me. It's also fun to do that lower front valence on the car, where you have the 5 little pieces that run down into the for that I'm drawing a blank, that lower splitter there, and you get to put the decals in between there, paint them silver. That's kind of cool. So yeah. Tyler says I can't start my own. Let me go back up. I missed Devo Man Diecast Racing. Welcome. Glad you guys can join in. Hope you're doing well. Okay, so Tyler says, can't start my stop motion cars till I get more cars. Yep. No money. Tyler, you have a job. You're going to need to get maybe a part-time job, start making some money, and then you can start, down the path of buying a couple cars, for yourself or for your stop motion. If you're younger, you're not old enough to get a job, maybe talk to your parents, see if they can, give you an allowance. Okay, you're 12, so maybe so I have a couple daughters. Sometimes they need to go to the mall or want to buy some things. I say, hey, why don't you do some chores around the house, and maybe wash the car, maybe cut the grass, maybe do a few extra chores around the house, and your parents can give you some money for that. So that's an idea. Maybe you can earn a little bit of money. I'll be honest, when I was when I was in 7th grade, 8th grade, I I started a paper route. Of course, not too many people are getting home delivered papers, but I was trying to make some money, right, in order to buy baseball cards is what I was buying. But yeah, so just some ideas for you to maybe make some money on the side to start, building a collection and stuff like that. So okay, so Ian says some of the ideas you're on your COT, a Logano O2. That's cool. Max Pappas. I haven't seen any Max Pappas cars out of Lionel, so that would be really cool. Paul Menard, a Menard's car. Yep, Red Bull. Red Bull cars are pretty sought after, so you could probably make some Red Bull cars and get some, make a few for yourself. And then if you have an eBay account and you want to sell some on eBay, I bet you people would be interested in buying some of those Red Bull cars because they're rare. Jimmy John says a Cindrix Verizon 33. They ran this year at Daytona. Okay, cool. Yeah, Austin Cindric is that up and coming driver, and so I could definitely see people making. And it doesn't look like it's a difficult paint scheme because it's just basically a black car with some light colored decals on it. It should be pretty straightforward to make. So that would be definitely a good one to make. I haven't had any. I'm trying to think if I've had any requests for it or not. But that would be a cool car to make for sure, Jimmy John. So that would be nice. So Ian says don't have much space to make them though. Ideally, I would like to print my own decals. Okay, yeah, I understand that. You got to have space. I did a few videos a couple weeks ago, I think, on just some ideas on starting your own. That's a good idea, trying to have some space, whether it's a garage, basement, whatever. Maybe a friend's house. If you know a friend who has some space, maybe you could talk them into letting you do some work over there. It's an idea. Printing your own decals. I had a few questions on that, where people would want to try to use an inkjet printer. They don't really turn out that great. So you might want to think about trying to get access to a laser printer, color laser printer, of course. Lacey's baby, how you doing? Glad you could join in. Do I display my personal customs? This would be cool to see a video of your whole collection display sometime. So I do have some earlier videos of what I have as my personal collection of Kenseth cars that I have donated to the Kenseth family. Actually, hold on just a second. I will get it's right over here. Actually, I think I can reach it. Just give me a second. So my dad had made a few of these shelves. And so here you go. I got a couple cars, right? So I can get it so it doesn't roll away. So yeah, so I had these things hanging up on the wall, and I would display them like this. And I have actually 4 of these. And so this is how I would display them. I had them mounted up on the wall. You could fit 6 cars across here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times 6, 54. So I had 4 of these. So I had well over 200 cars that I would display, all of the Kenseth cars from over the years. A little drawback was that this is really smooth, and the cars would roll around a little bit. And but yeah, these were custom made shelves that my dad made for my collection. So yeah, so that was really kind of cool. I just have them sitting here in the basement now, and yeah, waiting for something to do with them in the future. So let's see. Yeah, Tyler, if you like doing some chores, I think that's a good idea. Cleaning a pool. You guys have a pool? That's cool. Yeah, I used to do Xbox. You mentioned Xbox. I used to play a lot of Xbox with my daughters when they were younger. We played Halo, Halo Reach, different Halo games. But now that they're a little bit older, and Xbox took away the ability for people to um, play multiplayer, have guests. And so I had an account. My daughters would join me, and the three of us would be able to play all together on the same TV screen. And so that was kind of disappointing. Now it's just pretty much a single player, and everybody has to have their own account, for the Xbox 360 or the Xbox One. And so it's pretty. They pretty much play it now. They play, um, they play some first-person shooters and some Minecraft is what they do. So okay, yeah. Welcome, Gavin Beer. Sorry I didn't see you there. Pro Core Cup Series. Good to see you guys. Welcome, join in. Like I was saying, ask whatever questions you guys may have. You just want to, make some comments in the chat and just hear me chat. That's fine too. But exciting to do this. We have 12 people in here now, so that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, I think those Red Bull cars, like you said, I've seen them go for a lot of money. I made a couple Red Bull cars. They didn't go for that much. My typical selling price on eBay is anywhere from $25 to $30, and so that gives me a profit of around $12 to $13 per car, and so that's just usual of what I found, and sometimes they go for more than that, but sometimes they go for less than that, and you're ending up with just a small amount of profit there. So I'm not sure what Discord is. That may be something that yeah. The priciest thing is the donor cars for me, or paints if you need a specific one. Yep, no doubt. Trying to find those yeah. Hey, what's up there, Checkered Flag? Glad you could join. Trying to find those donor cars for a good price is definitely tricky. It's good to have some capital so that if you see a good deal on eBay or sometimes at some of these vendor like Circle B or Plan B or K-State or whatever, some of these websites have discounts. Even Lionel themselves will have sales, and trying to find those older cars at a good price. And a good price for me was anywhere around $5 or $6 a piece. If you do more than that, it's really cutting into your profit margin on each car that you make and sell. And if you need a specific paint, you're looking at, if you go to Hobby Lobby and you try to buy a nice Testors or Model Masters paint, you're looking at least probably $6, $7, unless you have sometimes they have their 40% off coupons or whatever. But yeah, it can be expensive for those one-off cars. So hey, thanks. Yeah, appreciate the display. It was funny with my dad. I asked him, I gave him the dimensions, and he used to do a lot of woodworking. He's 83 years old now, so he doesn't really do anything woodworking wise anymore. This was probably a good 10 years ago when I asked him for these custom made shelves. But I asked him for one, and I gave him the specs and everything, and he made it as close as he could to the specs. And then like a year later, I asked him for two more to make exactly like he had made the other ones, or the first one. And he was like, what? And he kind of pushed back, and there was a delay, and I was like, hey, okay, whenever you get the time. And then he ended up making them for me. And then I remember asking for one more because I'd run out of room, and that was like, pulling teeth, because he had pretty much, it's a lot of detailed work to put that together and get each board the same and use the right wood and stuff like that. So it was kind of funny, but yeah, I might have a hard time parting with them because they're from my dad, and he spent a lot of time making them for me. So yeah. Yep, the decals and donor cars are definitely where most of their money goes. Yeah, once you build up a good supply of paints, then you only have to buy, you know, buy them every once in a while. But yeah, the decals are expensive, and the donor cars, if you can't get a good deal, yeah, it's expensive. Oh, GoDaddy, you made a Daniel Suarez car. That's cool. That's cool. Daniel Suarez, there's not going to be too many of his cars made. So yeah, that would be cool. Arizona, California, yeah, I can imagine it's hot there. Trying to catch up here. Hey, Penhoff, William, good to see you. Welcome in. Yeah, no racing this weekend. Um, Easter, Major League Baseball is playing. Um, there's no racing at all. No Cup, no Xfinity, no trucks. Definitely taking a good Easter break. Um, okay, I see making Hamlin's a new FedEx car. That would be cool. That would be cool. GoDaddy, you mentioned the 500 car. Um, a lot of people like the Daytona 500, and some people like to collect all the cars that drove in the Daytona 500. So if you can get some of those secondary teams and make some of those cars that drove in the Daytona 500 from like a Daniel Suarez or Josh Balicki and some of these other guys, Quinn Huff, um, those can be sought after cars for sure. MMCS says, "What's the most expensive diecast you've ever sold?" Um, I would have to say I sold Ty Dillon's Death Wish coffee car that he drove, I think, in 2016. I sold it for $152. And what's crazy about that was, it was a no reserve auction. In order for it to get up to $152, somebody had to bid with that other person to get it up that high. And then I sent a second chance offer to that person who bid $150 because I made a second one, and they bought it. So I sold two Ty Dillon Death Wish coffee cars from 2016. I can't remember the number. Was it 96 or whatever it was? I can't remember. Um, for $300. That's crazy. A couple crazy people. I mean, crazy NASCAR fans or crazy Death Wish coffee people. Maybe they had too much coffee and they bought those cars. But that's the most I've ever sold a diecast for. Absolutely crazy. Some people for these customs and just something super rare, they think it's super rare. They get out of control with their bidding. Yep, $90 for a Ken Seth unsponsored car. I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. Lacey, baby, what do you think about improving the carded cars by opening the blister packs, disassembling them, paint the interiors, and do resale just to improve the car? I've done that before. I've done that on Ken Seth cars, but that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. And tried to resale the blister packs. Yep. Okay. Donor car, use for my Cinder cars, $3, 10 house. Yep, good idea. Good idea. If you can drive the cost of that, Jimmy John's, like you said, you can drive the cost of that donor car down. That just increases your profit margin. So William says, I drilled my first car. The back turned on me with the drill, so the black hole's open. And yes, yeah. You'll just have to use a lot of JB Weld for that to hold. And as you get better, with drilling out with your drill, you get accustomed to how the drill bit works and how it chews up that rivet, that metal post. You'll get better, and you just need to go slow, push, pull back, push, pull back, and then you'll get to that point where you just take enough off and you can pop it off without completely messing up the plastic piece. So yeah. Let's see. Sometimes Procore says I'm hesitant to buy donor cars just because they'll be really cheap. But this car I don't have, so I'm going to want to keep it. Yep. I hear you. GoDaddy says, Hey Doug, what's a good base color for the Denny Hamlin car that he ran the 500 with? I don't know what the color is. Usually the base color that I use, if it's a light colored car, I use white. If it's dark, I use black. I mean, that's pretty standard. Gavin Beer says, I know you buy your decals, but is it easier to print out decals on your own than using them? I bought a lot of decal paper, but don't know what's best to do. So I have found using Pato's Place decals is a lot easier than printing them on my own. The decal paper that you buy is just harder to work with. It's not as pliable, and it's just more challenging, especially when you go to use a white. If you have white in your decals, it's almost impossible because you can't print white ink, and so you have to use a white-based decal paper, and it just doesn't turn out as well. It just doesn't turn out as well. So I'm a big fan of if Pato offers the paint scheme, 100% of the time I use his decals over printing of my own, and I haven't printed my own decals for years. So Procore says Pato doesn't have a ton of Daniel Suarez decals. Okay, I would just say just wait. Daniel Suarez ran. What did he finish in the Bristol race? Third or fourth? He's driving well in that 99 car this year, and so Pato knows that kind of stuff, and so he'll start offering Suarez decals here in 2021. Don't be surprised. K1 Speed decal, K1 Speed Custom when he gets decals. Yeah, agreed. All right, let's see. I have a similar goal, full 43. Yep. Every COT. Wow, that's pretty impressive. That's pretty impressive. Procore says I've only been making custom for around 7 months, so I'm not ready to sell any. Maybe this summer if I feel really great about a specific car. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Hone those skills. You know, the more you make, the better you'll get. You know, the better painting, the better decal, the better sealing, all of that stuff. The more you make, the better you'll get, as you see. Okay, Tyler says ever since I saw them on YouTube, I'm gonna start doing my own. Yep. Yeah, agreed. Yep, Suarez finished fourth at Bristol. Would you ever give away a diecast for free? Yes, I have, and I just did it actually. The Kyle Busch Zombies Skittle zombie car. I had a drawing, and yeah, it was Ben Deutsch. He won the drawing, and was able to. I made the car basically the way he wanted it. So I'll do that again. I'll do that again here within the next month or two. So just keep watching my videos, and I'll give away a diecast for free for sure. It's interesting. I haven't had any requests for Suarez cars yet, but I may buy the decals here and make them just because. I mean, I like Daniel Suarez. He was a Joe Gibbs driver, and I think because Lionel doesn't really produce any of his paint schemes just yet, then I'm sure custom collectors would love to have it. So, yeah. So Ian White says people in the 124 modeling community have found a good white toner for HP laser printers that they run the decals through. It's white and run the color over. Interesting. I didn't know that. That would be good. If you can make that work, that'd be great. Let's see. Looking at decals for Stenhouse's 2021 Daytona scheme. Yep. Actually, I'm working on his 2020 Kroger car right now. Actually, I'm decaling it, so that is something I'm working on here this Easter weekend. Procore says I used to be terrible at applying the front nose decals, but that microsole is absolute game changer. I hear you, and I think we may have emailed before or talked about this before, but you just definitely have to be applying that, let it set in, really soften up the decal, and you can get that to work. patience is a virtue there. So hopefully you can continue to do great things on the nose of those cars, the Mustangs, and those Camrys as well, and of course the Camaros. Not as much on the Camaros. It seems to be a little bit easier, but definitely on those Mustangs and Camrys. So Jamie says, I want to tell on this live chat, thank you for all the advice. I made my 32 as of today, and am having a blast, doing great. Yeah, and I appreciate, James, you've sent me some emails, some of the pictures of some of the stuff that you've done, and it's pretty cool. You're doing some cool stuff, and appreciate the pictures. And you sent me some of the sticker decals. I haven't used them yet, but I'll definitely try to do that. So. Penhoff, William, I know who you are. Thank you for your input with my car. Also, thank you for your messages today on Jesus Christ. Look and listen to you tomorrow on Good Friday. Have a good Easter Sunday. He is risen. Amen. Amen. Yeah, I'm trying to do some videos on just some of the things that I enjoy, and I definitely enjoy 164 Custom Diecast. I'm a Bible reader, a Bible student, so I do some videos on that. And I maintain my own vehicles, so I'm doing videos on the 2018 Ford Edge Sport that we have, just some maintenance vehicles and stuff like that, or maintenance topics, and so that's kind of fun. So yeah, those are the videos I put up, and because it's Easter, and because it's a fun time celebrating the resurrection, so I'm doing a few videos on that every day for the next few days. So. Ian says, look at the Randy Ayers modeling forum. They have a thread of people's tips, tricks, and experiments. Yeah, I've been there before. I haven't been there in a while. So I'll definitely have to check that out, because I don't have a laser printer, but that may be something. If I would imagine at some point, Mr. Pato, he retired years ago. So I would imagine at some point he's going to stop. You can't just continue on with everything. I mean, he's probably getting up there in years. I have no idea how old he is, but I would think that he would be retiring from his hobby at some point. And I'd be interested to see if somebody picks up his website and offering all the decals that he offers when he goes to call it quits. But having that laser printer, and if you're right, if people are finding the ability to print white, to me that's a game changer. And being able to print your own decals and stuff like that would be really cool. And then it just gets down to the designs, having the designs and making them specific and detailed enough to be able to print your own, to make the cars as best as you can. And as you guys know, I mean, I'm after that perfect 164 diecast that a collector is going to hold in their hands and say, wow, this looks as lifelike as it possibly can be. And the decals are a huge part of that. If you can't get the decals right, then the car's not going to be perfect, no matter how well you paint it, how well you seal it, all that kind of stuff. Elmer's Club, hi, how you doing? I said earlier, I know you've sent me some emails. I just have to respond to you, and I'll do that here probably later tonight. I've got some things going on here. See, it's almost 8 o'clock, but yeah, I'll get back to you here pretty soon. And let's see, I missed a couple. Ian White says, I'm not a huge religious guy, but I do believe in the afterlife for those who are genuine, as well as higher power who watches over us. Okay. Yeah. Thanks for sharing that. And I'm all about the scriptures and defaulting on the scriptures. And so I just challenge you to consider them. GoDaddy says this summer I'm going to go to the NASCAR Hall race. Hey, cool. All-star race at Motor Speedway, home track. Cool. That should be exciting. Hey, Tyler, you don't have to send me any donor cars. Go ahead and keep them. I've got tons of donor cars. There are some, I think, 2013 to 2014 Toyota Camrys of the Cup Series that are hard to come by at a good price. Lacey's Baby says, have you ever made a custom late model dirt car? No, I have not. I have not done that. No. Tyler says, do they even make die-casts of that? I think they do. I think there's some cars that they do make on that. I'm very good at working in our 2003 templates, which Peter uses. Okay, cool. Cool. Yep. Hey, McMahon. Good morning. Good morning. McMahon, I'll remember you because you were one of the very first subscribers on YouTube to me. You were one of the first 10 subscribers for me. So I appreciate you doing that. And I appreciate you joining the live. That's cool. That's cool. Any news on the custom iRacing 15 car from Braxton? Braxton, I have to be honest with you. I haven't, and there's a reason. So I have a guy who is able to print decals for me of the designs that I send him, but he is backlogged, and I don't want to send him anything until he frees up a little bit, including yours. And I have some designs to send him, so that's the status of that. And yeah, but I appreciate you asking me. Keep asking me. I'll let you know. I'll let you know the status of that stuff. Okay, my dad sent me something also. Is it night? Is it morning in India? I live there still. Yeah. Again, thank you for telling us. Yep. Cool. Cool. Wait, this. Yep. Sounds good. I love it. Cool. Okay. Yeah. Braxton. And I'll be honest with you. Some of the designs you sent me might be a little bit difficult to actually print and for him to work with, but because it's a white car, that makes it pretty easy for him to print just the decals. Because whenever you're placing decals over top of a white car, it looks really good. It looks really good. So so yeah, it shouldn't be too hard. It's just getting him to print them at the right size. Because he does decals for a whole bunch of stuff. He does 124, whole bunch of decals that he prints. And so I just need to tell him exactly, I mean, down to the millimeter of the size of the decals, and then he can print them for me when he frees up. Okay. So you asked me about the Joey Logano Pennzoil Platinum. Yep, that is on my list to do. That is definitely on my to-do list. So like I said in my video a few weeks back, I'm backlogged, and I'm not taking any new requests right now until I can free some of that stuff up. So so yeah. Okay, next Wednesday, GoDaddy says, have a Snaps dog. Do you want to sign up for a car? Any status update on the cars requested? Also, need to make a 2014 series. Yeah, so like I said to Tyler, or to to Tyler, I'm backlogged, and I have a number of cars that I'll be ordering decals for, and so so yeah. Mark Sherrill says, do you plan on leaving this up or just taking it down after lunch? I'm going to leave it up. I mean, that's fine. I'll leave it up for sure. Elmer says, my dad sent an email about some decals. His name is Jason. Okay. Yeah, I have to be honest. I haven't checked my email in a couple days. I took some time off of work earlier this week, was out of town, and I'm just getting back yesterday, and I've got a number of things to get caught up on, and I'm going to get caught up on some of those emails for sure. Yeah, Braxton, a lot of white cars usually, so that's great to hear. Yep. What is your favorite custom diecast you ever made? I think my favorite custom diecast I ever made is the 2003 Matt Kenseth Carhartt for women. No. Was it 2003? Oh, crap. I can't remember now. I think it actually may have been a 2007. But it was it was Matt Kenseth's Carhartt for women paint scheme. And basically it was I had to have custom decals made for it because decals are not available anywhere. And so my contact, I think he lived actually in Georgia or Alabama down south. I had to send him pictures of the car. He was able to make the decals that I needed. I had to mix them with some other decals I had for a Carhartt car. But the paint scheme was it was like it wasn't the copper color of Carhartt, but it was a copper rose color, and it transitioned from the copper rose into um, like a black color on the back. And so I had to hand paint it. Well, I had to hand mix the copper rose color just to get it right. And that took me some time mixing different paints, mixing copper with a little bit of black and a little bit of a like a burgundy red metallic in order to mix the paints. And I just made one of them. I did a hood open, I think it was 2007. He drove it in Charlotte. And that was the only car I ever made of that paint scheme. I have never seen it in 1/64 scale. And I actually have the decals to make another one. It's on the far, far back burner because I have one in my collection that eventually went to the Kenseth family. But that was probably my favorite custom diecast I ever made because it was like custom squared, in order to make that one. And I'm not trying to pat myself on the back, but that one turned out pretty well for a lot of the custom painting stuff that I did. It was pretty cool. I have to be honest with you. Let's see. Penoff says, I see a video yesterday of a kid who did Kyle Larson car this year. He gave it dimensions. Okay. Yeah. Cool. Alec, I'm doing well. How you doing? I have, let's see. I know you've got a couple cars from me, and I have a couple cars in the hopper to do for you. So yeah. GoDaddy says, do you think Ricky Stenhouse Jr. cars will get produced this year? He drives for JTG Doherty. I would think they would do one of his paint schemes. I wouldn't be surprised. I'd have to look at Lionel's site. And what's a little tricky about Lionel these last few years is they're doing the NASCAR Authentics. And the NASCAR Authentics seems to do some of these one-off popular schemes, and but they're not really advertised that I can see. Because Lionel will say, hey, we're going to have these cars, and we're going to offer them as pre-sales, but then they may not get enough pre-sales, and so they fall off the list and they go into a do not produce category. So long and short of it is, I wouldn't be surprised that Stenhouse gets a car. He came in second at the Bristol Dirt Race. When a driver gets a top 5 like that, like I mentioned Suarez earlier, I think Lionel's somewhat obligated to make a 1/64 version of the car, especially if they don't have that alcoholic sponsor where they would have to produce it on one of their little, clear displays for young kids, because they don't, the 1/64s are primarily for, kids. And any of those paint schemes, popular paint schemes that have alcoholic sponsors, I think they're less likely to get done in 1/64 for these cars. And then you get into these energy drinks. Energy drinks like the NASCAR, and even the coffee cars. So you have Black Rifle Coffee. You've got the Death Wish Coffee. I don't think Lionel's going to do any of those schemes. And I think those could be pretty popular on the custom, for these collectors on the custom side. So if I didn't have so many requests, those were the cars that I would probably target. Is some of those, these super high caffeine coffees, some of the cars that are sponsored by these energy drinks, whether it's NOS or my personal favorite, I've said before, is Full Throttle. I love the Full Throttle drink. I think it's actually owned by Monster now, and there's not very many of them. It's sometimes kind of hard to find in your 7-Eleven. I have seen the Full Throttle 8 or 10 packs in Walmart, that are a lot cheaper if you buy them at that. I think if you buy like a pack of 8 or 10, I think it's 8 or 10. I don't think it's 12. And you can get them for almost $1 a piece. Whereas if you go into 7-Eleven, you buy a Full Throttle, it's like $2.50 almost. So it's kind of crazy. But anyways, those energy drink cars on the 1/64 scale, they're a shoo-in. They're a shoo-in for people to make and sell. Let's see. Penhoff says on the 164 scale with laser printer, but it was stick on decal. I guess you could do it on decal. Yep. Yep. Alec, you are a good brother. Excited to see how the cars you're making. Yeah. No, I hear you. I hear you. Penhoff, one last question. Yeah. I've got like another. I'm kind of over time, but another minute or so. Shoot your last questions. Might do if I use heat gloves. Would a heat gun take off paint instead of dipping in paint movie? That's a good question. I don't know. I don't know. It's possible. I've never tried it. I've never tried it. You might want to, hold it with some pliers, and then use a heat gun. Um, I would think you got to be careful not to heat up the metal too much where it gets deformed. So, so yeah. All right, guys. Hey, I appreciate you joining in. We had, I think maybe close to 15 people at one time, so that was cool. But God bless you guys. Thanks for joining the stream, and we'll do this soon. I don't know if we'll do it next week, but we'll do this soon. So you guys take care, and thanks for joining. We'll talk to you soon. Have a good night.